Hey there tech fans, Rick here again with a full review of the Orei EX-330-KVM HDMI extension kit with KVM functionality. This product makes it incredibly easy for you to share all of your HDMI media content with multiple remote locations at the same time, up to 150 meters away, over a single Cat5e or Cat6 LAN cable to each of those locations. The product fully supports high-definition HDMI media content and is both USB 1.1 as well as Hdcp 1.4 compliant, which means it'll work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. The kit also includes a set of infrared blasters that will collect up the remote control signals from each of those remote locations and pass those back digitally over the same LAN connection to the primary location where they're rebroadcast so you can remotely control the content you're watching. It also provides KVM functionality for one of the remote locations that allows you to connect up a keyboard and mouse at that location and remotely control a computer at the primary location. Finally, the kit can operate in a one-to-one configuration where the transmitter sends the same media content to a single location, or you can purchase additional receivers and operate it in a one-to-many configuration where that same transmitter can send the same HDMI media content to multiple locations at the same time. And a single transmitter can support up to 10 receivers. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing of the product just to show you everything that's included in the basic kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the transmitter module and the receiver module. I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand exactly how to use it. I'll do a quick demonstration to show you just how simple this product will be to use with your own equipment, and then I'll come back one more time and remind you of a few things that I really like about this kit that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. Let's get started with the unboxing. So when you first pop open the box, you'll find the transmitter module and the receiver module. You'll find two power supplies. These are a DC 5 volt 1 amp power supply. You'll plug this end into any standard wall outlet. The other end has a barrel connection on it which plugs into the back of the transmitter and the receiver and provides all the power you'll need at both locations. You'll also find a set of infrared blasters, and these look similar but they're slightly different. You'll notice this one has a larger head and that one has a smaller head. The larger head plugs into the receiver and the smaller head plugs into the transmitter. Finally, there's a full instruction manual included that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and other really important details you'll need to understand about this solution to use it correctly, so always read through that manual. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the transmitter and the receiver, I'll do the quick demonstration, and then I'll remind you of a few things again that I really like about this kit that you can use to compare it to others you may be considering. Inside the kit, you'll find a transmitter module and a receiver module. Both of these feature full metal enclosures, which make them incredibly durable and the perfect choice for both commercial and residential installations. Let's start with the transmitter module. On the one end, starting on the left, you'll find a DC input port. That's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that power supply into any standard wall outlet. The other end of the cable has a barrel connection on it, which plugs in right there to provide all the power you'll need for the module. To the right of that is a LAN port. That's where one end of the Cat5e or Cat6 cable between the transmitter and receiver plugs in. To the right of that is an infrared blaster port that's labeled IR out. You'll want to use the smaller infrared blaster. You'll plug it in right there. On the other end, you'll find an HDMI input port. That connects to the media device that you'd like to share the content from with your remote location. Standard HDMI connection. To the right of that is a PC connection. If you'd like to enable the KVM functionality from the remote location, you'll connect a USB cable from here to your computer to make the connection to the transmitter so you can remotely control that computer. The receiver has similar connections. Starting on the one end, you'll find a DC input port, and that's where the second power supply plugs in. You'll find another LAN port. That's where the other end of that Cat5e between the receiver and the transmitter plugs in right there. You'll find another infrared blaster port that's labeled IR in. In this case, you'll use the larger infrared blaster and plug it in right there to enable remote control. On the other end, you'll find an HDMI output port. This will connect to a monitor at your remote location where you'd like to enjoy the content. And finally, to the right of that, you'll find two full-sized USB-A ports, and these are used for both a mouse and a keyboard, and you can plug either device into either of these, or even use a wireless one if you'd like. Both of these are operational at the same time, and they provide complete remote control of a computer that's connected at the other end. And that's pretty much it for the transmitter and receiver modules in the kit. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, in front of me I have my laptop set up over here. It's currently looping a video that's being displayed on this monitor, and that's the media content I'd like to send to my remote locations. Over here, I've got two monitors set up. Each of these represent a different remote location, and these can be up to 150 meters away from the primary location. In front of me, I have the transmitter module here and the receiver module here. Now, the first connection I'll make is from my laptop to the transmitter, and I'll do that by disconnecting the HDMI cable from the monitor and plugging that directly into the HDMI input port on the transmitter. And now we're set to connect up the receiver to the remote monitor. I've got a cable connected to the bottom monitor here. The other end of that plugs into the HDMI output port on the receiver. And now we can add power to both modules. I've already plugged in both power supplies. The other end of those cables have barrel connections on them, which plug directly into the modules. So I'll plug the transmitter in, and then I'll plug in the receiver. And you can do these in either order, it doesn't matter. Now, once I add power to both of these modules, they immediately start that internal power on self-test to check the electronics. This one is checking the resolution of my media content. This one is checking the resolution of the monitor to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture at the remote location. Now, the only thing we're missing at this point is the LAN cable between them, and that has to be a Cat5e or a Cat6 cable. I've got a short Cat6 cable right here that I'll use for the connection, and I'll start by connecting that up to the transmitter and the other end of it to the receiver. Now, the minute I make that connection, both of the modules start a handshake. They know about each other. They're negotiating the best possible resolution, and that takes a second or two, and there you go. So what you're seeing here is content from the primary side up to 150 meters away at the secondary location, and that's pretty incredible that the transmitter can take HDMI content, convert it to a signal that can be sent over a LAN cable, then the receiver can convert it again back to an HDMI signal to display in a monitor. Now, another nice feature this product provides is KVM functionality from the remote site, which allows you to connect up a keyboard and mouse here and remotely control the computer that's connected up over here. And to do that, you'll start at the transmitter side, and you'll have to connect your computer up through a USB cable. You'll simply plug that into the module. And once you've made this connection, now you can connect the keyboard and mouse up at the remote location, and you can use a wired keyboard and mouse. I like wireless products, so I've got a dongle right here. There are two USB-A ports right there. So you simply plug that in at the receiver end, and it immediately enables a keyboard and mouse from that remote location to control your computer at the primary site. So for example, right now I'm watching the video. I'll tap the space bar to pause it. You can see if I move the mouse around, I've got control. So it allows you to completely control, remotely control a computer here from that remote location. Now, another nice feature is the fact that this kit supports both a one-to-one relationship, which I'm showing you now, or a one-to-many, so I can add additional receivers to have that same HDMI content sent to multiple locations at the same time. And to do that, you'll need a switch in between. So a 1 gig switch will work fine. It can be a simple unmanaged switch like this one. And to enable additional receivers, you'll essentially disconnect the cable from the first receiver, plug that into the switch. Then you'll need to reconnect that receiver. So you'll need another LAN cable. You can plug that into any port in the switch and plug the other end of it into the receiver module. And you're basically distributing that signal through the switch to multiple receivers. It takes a second or two for the handshake to take place. Then you'll see the display come back up. There you go. Now, I happen to have another receiver right here, and to use this one, I'll connect it up to the upper monitor using another HDMI cable just like we did the first time. And I've got a LAN port right there. I'll need a LAN cable, and I'll connect it up to the LAN port on that second receiver and directly plug that into the switch. Pick any other port you need. And once you make that connection, the transmitter now sees both of the receivers. It's going to renegotiate the resolution if needed. These happen to be the same resolution. And in a second, there you go, you'll see the same HDMI content on both of those monitors. So what you've got in this kit is a really nice one-to-one relationship for that extension, as well as KVM functionality, in addition to the one-to-many connection you can make with the same HDMI media content being sent to multiple monitors at the same time, which is perfect for a commercial installation where you need to display that on multiple monitors, again, at great distances away from the primary site. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope that closer look and demonstration were helpful. Now, here are a few really important things to keep in mind when you're comparing the Orei EX-330-KVM to other products you may be considering. The first thing has to do with flexibility. This product can operate in a one-to-one relationship where HDMI media content is sent to a single location, and that's perfect for a home environment because maybe the transmitter is located in your media center and you've put the receiver in an upstairs bedroom or downstairs in the den, and you can enjoy the content at that remote location. but it's also flexible enough to be used in a one-to-many relationship where you can add additional receivers and send that same HDMI media content to multiple locations at the same time, which is perfect for a commercial environment. So if you want to use it in a restaurant or maybe at a trade show, you can send that same HDMI media content to multiple monitors located up to 150 meters away. Another major advantage is the fact that the kit includes infrared blasters, and that's important because a lot of other HDMI extension kits on the market don't include those, which means when you're at the remote location, you have no control over the content you're watching. You basically start it at the primary site and then run to that bedroom or downstairs to the den, and you have to watch it start to finish. Because these are included, you can use a remote control at that secondary location and have complete control over the content. Another advantage is the fact that it supports KVM functionality from the remote location, which allows you to connect up a keyboard and mouse at that remote location and completely control a computer that's located at the primary site. You also want to check certifications on any product you're considering. This one supports USB 1.1 and Hdcp 1.4, and those are important because when you're connecting up a keyboard and mouse at that remote location, you want to make sure those peripherals are supported, so knowing you're on one of the latest versions of USB is really important. The Hdcp certification is critical as well because that controls copy protection, and knowing you're on one of the latest versions of Hdcp means that you can play a wider variety of different media file types. So all of those things being equal, I think that Orei has done a great job with this product to support not only a one-to-one where you can use it in your home or a one-to-many, which is perfect for commercial, but they've included a lot of the features that you'll really care about in any HDMI extension kit you're considering. And that's all I really had for today. So hopefully you found this review helpful. I've enjoyed talking about it. And again, until next time, as always, stay nerdy.